Hi, hello everyone. My name is Takeshi. I'm working for Tetrate, and also I recently became a maintainer. And I'm super. Thank you, everyone. I'm super excited to talk about dynamic modules, and I believe this is one of the most exciting features in the last couple of years, at least for me. But I only have 10 minutes. I'm going to give you just overview, and then after that, you're going to get excited about it, hopefully. So let's get started. So before I talk about dynamic module itself, I want to give some background why it is important and why it's necessary and why it's exciting. So I think we all know there's a couple ways to extend Envoy proxy. We have assembly, external processing, which we love, and Lua and the C++ filter if you want to go hardcore kind of stuff. And but none of them is perfect, so it has some pros and cons. For example, when you're using external processing of WebAssembly or Lua, you have to communicate between Envoy and the extending component. So there's inherently communication overheads. But instead, if you want to eliminate that overhead, then you want to write C++ native extension, but you have to compile it together with Envoy binary. So you have to maintain Envoy binary by yourself, which is not an easy task for everyone. So I think the other thing is that like developer experience. For example, when you're using WebAssembly, you cannot use it like a native toolchain, but you have to use WebAssembly toolchain, which is not as easy as to like normal applications, so it's not a good thing. And also, when you're deploying external processing, you have to take care of external processing itself in addition to Envoy proxy, so there is an operational cost. So basically, dynamic module is trying to eliminate or trying to solve these challenges. And the definition of dynamic modules is shared library, which implements some Envoy-specific C API, which is written in C header file. I think 2005 lines of code. And it has the zero copy philosophy, which means that any dynamic modules can have the access to the direct memory, like without copying Envoy to another extending component. And also, you don't have to maintain Envoy proxy by yourself. It's a runtime loadable without like just using Envoy proxy main upstream binary. And also, this is interesting because this is the one of the oldest feature, like 7 years old, just closed 2 months ago. I've been working on this like since last summer, so maybe 10 months or so, and finally we're gonna make it to the next version of Envoy, which I think is gonna release in 2 weeks or 3 weeks. So yeah, that is the definition of dynamic modules. Then how to build dynamic modules. So as I said, the dynamic modules is the shared library that implements some Envoy internal. So it's not for everyone. So we provide some official XDK, which is unfortunately, I don't know if it's unfortunate, but it's only in Rust. You can use that Rust SDK to provide like your own dynamic modules without taking care of Envoy internals. And also, one dynamic module can contain multiple HTTP filters, so memory footprint is smaller than maybe it works for many cases. And now that we know how to build dynamic modules, then here's a configuration file. Nothing special. It's just an HTTP filter where you specify some dynamic module library and which tells Envoy where to find shared library. And then specify filter name and the filter configuration and so on. So it's very similar to WebAssembly extension, I think. And even though we're gonna make it to the next version of Envoy proxy, there's a lot of work to do. For example, with WebAssembly extension, you can write network filters, but currently dynamic modules cannot produce network filters, so it's obvious future work. And also, there's many APIs that are not available in dynamic modules, but also available in WebAssembly or external processing. So it's a lot of work to do. And also, some people would complain about only Rust-like nature. So also, we are looking forward to supporting more programming languages officially. And also currently, all dynamic module can work on a specific version of Envoy, so we want to stabilize some ABI so that one dynamic module can work across multiple Envoy versions, which could be a great thing for everyone. And I think, yep. Even though I love dynamic modules and I'm super excited about it, but it's not perfect, and just like any other extension mechanism. So you have to choose wisely depending on use cases. For example, if you want to use, maybe you want to use dynamic modules when you want high performance, but you don't want to maintain an Envoy build by yourself. On the other hand, maybe external processor, I think Xtoproc is one of the most mature and battle-tested extension mechanisms. So if you want some assurance, maybe I would recommend external processor, just like many projects are using external processor. So depending on use case, choose wisely is the only advice I could give. So I think, yeah, almost done. And dynamic module is the shell library that can be loadable by Envoy proxy, and it has some zero copy philosophy, so it has some high performance characteristic, and also it's going to be available from the next version of Envoy as a core extension, so you can try it out very soon. And we have the official example repository. I think that is where that is the best place to get started. So feel free to check it out and give us the feedback. And also we have a Slack channel, so feel free to join me and give us the feedback. Let's make it like better place to have Envoy extensions. Thank you, everyone.